Live Golf has gathered some world-class players, but it's a well-known fact that Cameron Smith is the best out of all of them. Oh, and the Aussie proved this in the Miami event too. His team may not have won, but he took the show with his impressive performance. In this video, we'll look at Cameron Smith carrying his team to a $12 million payday, so stay tuned. First up, Cameron Smith carried his team to a big payday. Cameron Smith is the best golfer in the Saudi League, and it's no surprise that he was the center of the tour's event in Miami, even if the said event was a team one. Sure, other golfers were on the field, but they didn't do it as he did. Cameron carried all the other Australians on his back and led them to one of the biggest paydays of their lives. Smith needed something to prove that he was still the golfer that people expected to become the number one day. Of course, this was after he won the Open Championship when he was still the man of the moment. At that time, the fact that he'd go on to join Live Golf was just a rumor, and he refused to comment on it, stating that he wanted to enjoy his victory. It calmed the uproar down, but then he joined anyway, and before we knew it, he went from being the hero to being the villain. Plus, he didn't have the best of starts either. The Aussie's first Live Invitational didn't go as well as he had hoped, especially since many people had extremely high expectations from him. Instead, it was Dustin Johnson who got the bragging rights. That said, it seems like Cameron has finally gotten his act together, even if he still hasn't managed to one-up Johnson. For now, his team punch was the runner-up. Dustin has already earned an enormous amount from being the inaugural Player of the Year, but he wasn't going to stop there because guess what? Yep, he earned another $6 million after he shot the winning putt for his team and led them to victory. We'll admit it, Dustin knows how to rally his troops. The four aces never disappoint, and he may have led them to victory, but was he the man of the match? Well, some say that it's Cameron that took that particular title because the golfer killed it on the golf course. Looks like things are finally starting to go well for the Aussie. After all, there's nothing better to lighten your mood up after the whole Live PGA fiasco than a $12 million payday for all your team members. Of course, things could have improved, even if this is good news for Cameron. For example, they could have won the Live event, which, honestly, had their name written on it, and it's a shame that they only returned home with a runners-up prize. But it was a single shot that destroyed the dream result. That said, there seems to be a lot of other stuff distracting the Australian team, which could have distracted them. For instance, the whole debate about ranking points has taken the focus away from the sport, so it's understandable that Smith is frustrated with all this drama around him and his teammates. Next up, Cameron had the best score in the Miami event. The man was the number 2 player, but he's been struggling because of his decision to join the Live. He admittedly did one of the invitationals, but still, it's been hit or miss for him this season. And now, thanks to a lack of OWGR points, the player who was set for the top of the golf world is dropping in the rankings. So far, he's only dropped down to number 3, but if things continue to progress the way they have been, Cameron won't be able to defend his title anymore. But even with his struggles with the PGA and ranking points, Cameron enjoys Live to the fullest. He and his team may not be doing as well as the four aces, but they're not doing badly. The Australian team, obviously captained by Smith, consists of Mark Leishman, Wade Ormsby, and Matt Jones. Of course, they all put up their best fight, which explains why the team was only one shot away from winning the match. But none of them stood a chance against Cameron, the only Aussie player to have won a Live Tour event. We can look at the final results to show the difference between him and the rest. Even if his team didn't win, Cameron's 7 under 65 was better than anyone else on the field by 3 scores, and 5 scores more than his next best teammate who got a 2 under 70, Matt Jones. This shows that Cameron carried his team to the second position. Without him, they would have struggled much more. Lastly, Slumber's statement indicates Cameron Smith might be allowed to defend Claret Jug title. The Open Championship, the oldest golf major, has confirmed that Live Golf players will be allowed to participate in the Claret Jug next year. The 4 majors have had people's attention for a while now, as fans have been wondering if they'll change their criteria starting from 2023 to stop those who have joined Live from participating. An official statement from the organizers of the Open is expected to be released in 2023, but it seems that Chief Martin Slumbers has already confirmed the news. Recently, in an interview, he said that he didn't want to betray 150 years of history by not being open. He said they'll go public in January or February regarding what they'll do about the situation of the Live golfers. Moreover, he elaborated that if you want a guide, go back to what he said in July and hone in on the fact that they aren't banning anyone. He said that the name said it all, and that they will ensure that there are suitable methods odds and ways to qualify. This means that the defending champion Smith will be allowed another go at his title, even though he joined the Live Golf Series not long after winning the Claret Jug. Slumbers said that he was eager to see Cameron Smith tee up around 9:40 a.m. on the first day of the Open in 2023. Now, moving on to Cameron Smith talking about Phil Mickelson's gamesmanship. First off, the quarterfinal round left something to be desired. The quarterfinal round of the Live Golf Team Championship, which took place on Friday, felt empty, as if something was missing, despite having 12 back-to-back matches on the course. The day's marquee match featured Phil Mickelson, a fan favorite, and Cameron Smith, who's turned into the Saudi League's poster boy. They had the largest crowd around Trump National Doral's Blue Monster and also gave the best finish. A good and close match has many differences, and this one was more of a close match. Thanks to the signature shotgun start format of the Live, starting on number 9, Cameron shot 3 under and Mickelson shot 2 under, but both the players didn't make the timely putts to pull away until the par 5 8th, their final hole for the day. Talking about the match, Cameron said that they both struck the ball well and that even though he wasn't able to get as many putts as he'd liked, he was able to get the job done there on the last hole. One of only 2 matches to reach the final hole, Cameron bested Phil with a birdie after he missed the fairway off the tee and found a greenside bunker from the rough. Following up, Phil was hurt by his performance in the match. After the round, Phil said that he'd been playing very well and felt like his game could match up and that mostly they played all right. But he said that later they both shot a few under par, but not enough. He felt he needed to shoot 66 or 67 to win the match, and the fact that he didn't birdie any of the last 7 holes hurt him. Clarified that he didn't understand how he missed the fairway, which hurt him a lot because he didn't have the chance to get after the green and make an easy 4 to get a chance at an eagle. Phil said he had a lie and missed it right and tried to make his 4 that way. He admitted that it's very hard against someone as skilled as Cameron. Finally, Cameron Smith talks about Phil taking too long. Meanwhile, the Aussie added that the match had been good, but he believed Phil may have added a bit of gamesmanship. The golfer had been taking forever. This caused them to be 3 or 4 holes behind. Cameron said, well, that specific part had been rather painful and led him to suspect Phil. Overall, the event had been fun. Whether Phil had been trying to throw Cameron off his game hasn't been confirmed, but one thing's for sure, if he was, he failed badly at it. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Cameron Smith's performance in Miami? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.